Dre all day.
212, you are now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves you to make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. We put all this together in one bundle, one package. What you get is the philosophy, the method, the mindset, the book, the experience known as Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic: why and when you should exchange your services for no money. Why and when should you work for free? Is there ever a time when it makes sense for you in your career, your position, with your skill set, or maybe your lack of skill set? When does it make sense for you to do work? You put some effort in, but you are not asking for nor receiving any compensation for that work. I'm talking monetary compensation. Why and when do you work for free? It seems to me, the reason why this topic exists, it seems to me that many people who are new to something, meaning you have no track record, no resume, no proof that you're actually good. There are many people who still believe, despite this, that they're too good to work for free, that they are above working for free because, I can't fill in the blank as to why they think this. I don't know what the because is, but there are people out there who think this. Actually, I do know why, and we're going to get into that here today. And they believe that they're above working for free, and they have good reasons on their own, what they consider to be good reasons as to why. A good reason is relative, right? Whatever I think is a good reason, you may think is a terrible reason. Neither one of us is wrong or right. So you may be this person I'm talking about. You may have some good reasons why you wouldn't work for free. Because listen, food isn't free. Gas isn't free. Housing is not free. Your phone bill's not free. So somehow, some way, you got to be able to pay for these things. So if you're exchanging your time and not getting any money for it, how are you even going to live? How are you going to pay for anything? But I want you to understand, even though those reasons make sense and you can consider them to be good reasons, there are also many better reasons better than those, as to why you should be willing to give your services for free, to do your work, whatever it's going to be, for free. And I'm going to tell you both what they are and why that is here today. Now, understand that this subject is not limited to people who consider themselves young. Young, again, another relative term. You think if you're relatively new to a certain industry, or maybe you don't have a lot of experience, period, in doing anything. But maybe if you're a person who maybe you've been around for a while, maybe you have a whole lot of time in the game, or maybe in a different game, and you're trying to move into a game that's not like the one that you have all your experience in. But you may feel a little bit silly, or you may have had people tell you, like, that's crazy, you're too old to work for free, or you've been in the game too long to work for free, or you had too much experience, or you have too much value, too much substance to ever work for free. It's crazy that anybody would think that, or maybe you just decided that on your own, and you think it's crazy that anyone would even suggest this to you. You may think that I'm crazy for even talking about this right now. That's good. I want you to think that way, because I'm going to state my case here today. All right, you got your case in your mind that you've already made before you even listen to this. I'm going to state my case for why and when it makes sense for you or anyone else who, in whatever case, I'm going to tell what the cases are, to work for free. You're giving your time, showing up. It may not be a full-time 50-hour-a-week job. You got to do something that's going to make you some money. But why and when would it ever make sense for you to exchange your services and your time for no money? Point number one. Today's topic again: why and when to work for free. One time when you should work for free is when you are trying to break into a crowded field. You want to get your name known. You want to get your likeness remembered. You want somebody to choose you and choose to pay attention to you in a field in which there are 1,000 other people trying to do the same thing that you're doing. It would make a whole lot of sense to work for free, because that'll push you to the front of the line. Because if you're offering to work for free, it's not that hard of a decision for a person, at least not a money decision, for a person to decide to give you a shot. Let's see what you bring to the table. It's not costing me anything except a little bit of my time to find out what you bring to the table. And even though we all understand that time is more valuable than money, when it comes to business, most of us value our money over our time. We'll give up time. We'll give away time for free, but we won't give away money unless we're 100% sure what we're getting back in exchange. Is this true or not? When I was playing ball, coming out of college, we had these things called exposure camps. If you've listened to this show often enough, then you heard me talk about exposure camps. These are events in which you as the basketball player who wants to play professionally, but you don't have a contract offered to you at the moment. You go to this event and you show your basketball skills in front of a bunch of people who have the power to help you get a pro basketball career. People such as agents, managers, team owners, scouts, etc., coaches, etc. The thing about these exposure camps is not just you there, though. There are a couple hundred other players with the same idea and the same desires as you who also want to show their game. So you are competing against all these other people. And if you've never been to an exposure camp, you can just come by that explanation I just gave you, that brief explanation, understand that exposure camps are meat markets because everybody is trying to get seen. Everybody's trying to make themselves look good. And then you got everybody in the crowd. These are not just regular fans who just like watch basketball, watching basketball who come to the exposure camps. People at exposure camps in the stands, they're the people who can make or break your career. I mean, they can't really break your career. They can break it by ignoring you, but they can make your career by giving you an opportunity or getting your name out there, signing you to their agency, getting you signed to a contract on their team. So exposure camps are a big deal for players because they all know that it's their golden ticket. This is their chance to get their shot in playing ball. And I went to several exposure camps during my playing career, but understand something about an exposure camp. It sounds like a pretty good idea. If you're a basketball player right now, maybe you know someone who's a basketball player, an aspiring professional at some point in their life, and you're thinking, man, this exposure camp thing sounds like a pretty good deal, Dre. I'm glad you brought this up. I'm going to let whoever know, or I'm going to myself go find a way to get into an exposure camp. Oh, let me tell you one other thing you need to know about it. All right, exposure camps ain't free. You pay. Yes, you pay. They don't pay you to come to the exposure camp. You pay the exposure camp for the right, the opportunity, for the privilege of coming to the camp and maybe an opportunity happening from your experience at the camp. There is no guarantee that you get anything back for coming to an exposure camp. Maybe some camps these days, maybe they'll guarantee that you can download the footage of the games that you played in. You can pretty much get that. I mean, that's pretty standard these days since digital footage. I mean, it doesn't cost any money to have digital footage. We got unlimited cloud storage these days. It's not like they're selling DVDs. What else do they guarantee? I mean, maybe you can keep the jersey. Maybe you keep the jersey and the uniform. You might get a hotel room along with your camp fee, but all the food that you eat, you got to pay for it. Your travel from wherever you are to wherever that exposure camp is, you got to pay for that. Whatever money you spend in between leaving home and coming back, you got to pay for that. Sometimes the hotel room doesn't even come with it. You got to pay for that. And anything else you do, anything other than the right to get on the court and be seen at this camp is coming out of your pocket. You got to pay. So if you think about that, the expense, or rather, if you're investing in your basketball career, we should call this an investment. The investment that you're making in going to an exposure camp, not just the fee itself, but the overall experience, that could cost you anywhere from $300 to $1,000 every time you go to an exposure camp. But that's the investment that you're making, knowing that if you get that playing opportunity on the back end, you're going to make back multiples more than what you invested. But what I'm helping you all understand is that going to an exposure camp is working for free. You're actually working for negative. You're putting yourself in the red when you go to an exposure camp because you're spending this money and there's no guarantee you're getting anything back. The hope is, or the wish, or the aim, or the goal, whatever you want to call it, is that the exposure camp gets you paid later on. But that's the cost of getting into the business when there are thousands of other players going after the same spot as you, and there's nothing about you or your resume that's going to make you stand out amongst all these other players that you can write down in the email that will make you any better than the other 900 people who are sending the same email to the same coach or the same agent the same day. What's going to make you stand out? Probably you would have to get on the court and actually let them see that you can do the thing. Because if you keep trying to explain it, they may not quite get it. But if you let them see it and let them feel what your game is, now that's a whole different conversation. But in order for that to happen, you got to be in the same place that those people are at, which means you got to pay to get there, whatever that takes, gas in your car, an airline ticket. You got to get your hotel room. You got to show up and you got to show your game, and you got to be playing against people who can play. It's one thing if you got some game footage of you playing in a local, 24-hour fitness league scoring 40 against some guy who works at the auto body shop around the corner. It's another thing if you scored 30 against some guy who played at a D2 college or a guy who came off a 4-year D1 scholarship, and you show you can play against those people. So when people can see you in person, it's a whole different experience than when they're just reading about or watching, even on video, watching you do something. I remember hearing the story of Sarah Blakely. Those of you who don't know that name, you probably heard of her product. It is called Spanx. Spanx, I think they make Spanx for men now, but Spanx came out. The main thing, it was for women. And Oprah Winfrey, it got the Oprah Winfrey blessing that Oprah talked about Spanx and how she loved wearing it. Is this undergarment type of clothing that a woman can wear. Men can wear them now too. I think there are men's Spanx, but it was originally based on being for women. That this is shapewear. That's what they call it. Shapewear that helps shape your body and pull things in where it needs to be pulled in and help the curves look right where the curves need to look right underneath your clothing. And the great thing about Spanx is that if you're wearing it, at least according to the documentation, I believe, ladies, you can correct me if I got this wrong, that when a woman is wearing the Spanx, if you don't know that she's wearing it, she didn't tell you, then you couldn't tell that she was wearing it. That's the great thing about it. There are no lines, there are no panty lines or anything like that with Spanx. But anyway, Sarah Blakely, when she first started the company, of course, she invested a lot of money into getting started with this company, and she started going around to department stores, to the merchandisers. These are the people who at department stores, they decide which products they're going to carry in their department store. So those of you who didn't know this, when you go into what are department stores? You got, I don't remember the names of them, Nordstrom's, and you have, I don't remember the names of the department stores. What are the names of the department stores out there? JCPenney, they still exist? Or whatever the department stores are. Y'all know when you go to the mall, you got the big stores at the end of the hallways. So let's just say Nordstrom. Sarah Blakely would go around to these stores and she would meet with these merchandisers. First of all, she had to hustle just to get the meeting with the merchandiser. And then you sit down with that merchandiser who is going through all day, all they're hearing is pitches from companies, people like Sarah Blakely, who have some product that nobody knows about yet, that she wants to let them know. She wants to sell them on the idea that this product is one that you should be carrying because your customers are going to want it and they're going to buy it. And we're going to make money, you're going to make money, and we all live happily ever after. So Sarah Blakely was in one of these meetings with one of these merchandisers. I don't remember what store this was. And she was explaining the concept of Spanx to this woman, this merchandiser. And the merchandiser wasn't quite getting it. Sarah could tell that she knew that she only had about 5 minutes of real attention from this woman before the woman was completely tuning her out and thinking about what's the next meeting that I got to see? What's the next product that I got to look at? Who's the next person I got to throw out of my office? And Sarah said, you know what? How about you come into the bathroom with me so I can actually show you what this product does? Because me talking about it, you're not going to get it. Because mind you, Sarah was showing off a whole new concept. Spanx did not exist. She had invented it. So nobody understood the concept through words. She had to show it to them. And so Sarah said she took this woman into the dressing room, and I don't know how she showed her Spanx. She had a woman put it on and Sarah put it on herself. I don't know. She didn't tell all those details. Maybe she has, but I didn't hear the story. And she went and showed this woman Spanx so that she could see it and feel it for herself. And that's how Sarah initially got her first opportunity into a department store. I told you all of that just to help you understand the concept of, as a basketball player, sometimes just sending out an email or talking about how good you are is nothing compared to letting somebody actually see you in person. And to get seen in person, that's going to require an investment. Understand that musicians, any musicians out there, these days especially, how many musicians are putting out music for free every single day on YouTube or SoundCloud? Every single day. Anybody could record a song and put it out for free on YouTube right now within 5 minutes, or on SoundCloud right now within 5 minutes. All you gotta do is create an account, which takes you 2 minutes. And all you gotta do is upload it, put a title on it. As long as you got a data connection or a Wi-Fi connection, you're good. You can put your music out right now today if you wanted to. And that music, the time it took you to create it wasn't free. All right, time is money, as they say, right? Time is actually a lot more than money, but you're putting out that music that you put time into creating for free. And maybe you had to pay a producer. Maybe you had to pay for the beat. Maybe you had to pay somebody to engineer the track to make it sound right, to mix it down. All of those things cost money, but you're putting it out there for free. Why? Because you know on the other side of that free, if the right person hears that or the right people hear it, that could create a whole nother opportunity for you that's worth way more than what you paid for it up front. Professional speakers do free speeches when you're trying to get your foot in the game. When I wanted to get my foot in the door as a professional speaker and establish that I was good, that I could stand in front of an audience as opposed to in front of a camera and deliver to a live audience and be good, I did several speeches that I did not get paid for at all. Several speeches where I didn't pay specifically to be on the stage, but I paid maybe for my travel to where I was going, paid for the hotel, paid for, what else is there to pay for? Paid for my food, paid for whatever travel, car, gas, planes. I paid for these things because I knew that when I got on the stage, I was betting that I had the goods to deliver, that once I got on that stage and did my thing, people were going to hear me and be like, wow, that was actually really good. And opportunities would come to me when I got off the stage, not on the stage, but all my opportunities would happen off the stage. And this is something, again, this is the bet that you make on yourself in any area of life when you know that you have the goods to deliver. If you read my book, Work on Your Game, I told you the story how that book even occurred. I spoke at a conference in which they did not pay me. I paid for my travel. They didn't even pay for the travel. They didn't even pay for the hotel. I paid for everything just to travel to this place, speak on the stage, did not get paid a single penny for it. And when I stepped off the stage, I was offered a book deal that ended up becoming the book, Work on Your Game. But that's because, again, I was willing to invest in myself. And be clear, just because you invest in yourself doesn't mean something's going to happen. You also got to have something good to deliver. You got to have some goods. All right, investing in yourself when you're garbage is a good thing to do, but don't invest too much until you got to invest. When you invest big, when you know you got something great to deliver. All right. Otherwise, invest time into yourself to work on your game and get better. That's why I'm giving you this audio experience right now. Invest in this, learn from this, then do the work, put the time in, then put the money in when you know you got something good, you want to get the money back. And people don't complain about this. Athletes don't complain about the fact that they have to go to an exposure camp to get themselves seen. They're happy to go because they know it's a golden ticket that they're playing for. Musicians don't complain about the fact that they're putting the music out free on SoundCloud or YouTube. Why? Because they know if they get the right base of fans and it hits the right ears of the right person, their whole lives could change based on that. A professional speaker doesn't complain about the fact that they're going to give a speech and it's free. It's not like they have to do it. You're choosing to do all of these things. These are all choices. These are not forced upon you. You're willing to do these things because you know on the back end when you're actually good, that something good is going to come out of it. You don't complain about this. You know that if the work is good, it will lead to future opportunities. This is just basic investment and return on investment. Point number 2. Today's topic is when and how, when and why to work for free. Why and when to work for free in life. Here's the second time when it makes sense to work for free. And this goes hand in hand with the first one, is when you are a complete nobody. Nobody knows your name. Nobody has heard of you. Nobody has sampled your work. Nobody has bought your products or services. Nobody knows if you're good or not. Nobody has any reason to think of your name when they're looking through the thousands of other people who are looking for the same opportunity. You're a complete nobody. This is a very good time for you to work for free. Why? Because your name is not worth anything yet. Nobody knows who you are. Attention is money these days. We are in the attention economy. It used to be the knowledge economy, but now knowledge is flattened out and everybody has access to pretty much all the knowledge you would ever need, more than you would ever need at your fingertips, and it costs you pretty much nothing these days. It used to be that knowledge was hierarchical, that if you weren't at a certain level, there was certain knowledge you didn't have access to. Those days are completely over. Now that we got this website, google.com, everybody has access to knowledge. So the knowledge economy is over. You can't sell knowledge. Now it's attention. If you want to sell things to people, you got to get their attention. If you can't get people's attention, you'll not be able to sell anything, even if your stuff is amazing. So if you're a nobody, what you need to do is get people's attention. And you can't get people's attention if you're trying to charge for something that isn't proven, because why would I buy it? I can get something for free that's probably better than what you're offering. Because again, knowledge is free. A businessman once told me, he said, Dre, you cannot make demands until you are in demand. Let me say that one more time. You cannot make demands until you are in demand. If you don't have a track record, you don't have a leg to stand on to demand that anybody pay you for your work. I mean, why would you pay somebody for their work when they have no proof that they're actually good? Why would you do that? What kind of business sense would that make for you as a customer, as an investor, to pay for something that there is no proof that is actually good? If nobody else is vying to pay you, and a person comes to you and says, work for free, and you say, well, that's a slap in the face for you to tell me to work for free. Well, why is that a slap in the face? I mean, is somebody else offering to pay you? All right, who am I competing against? If the answer is nobody, then you should be happy that somebody offered for you to work for free. At least they're giving you an opportunity to prove yourself. Now, if you got 10 people offering to pay you and one person comes along and says, hey, work for me for free, you can say no. You can ignore that person. Why? Because you got 10 other offers to choose from that are all willing to pay you. But if you have nobody offering to pay you and somebody says, hey, come work for me for free, all right, here's an opportunity for you to at least show that you're worth something, and you can negotiate at that point. If nobody else is vying to pay you, you have no leg to stand on when it comes to thinking that you are entitled to being paid for your work. That just doesn't even make any sense, does it? Would you, again, if you're the person, if you're the boss and you're trying to hire somebody and you see somebody who has no track record whatsoever, but they want to work for you, what would you pay them? Why would you pay them? When you could just get on Google and find 300 people who actually have proof that they're good. Now, why would you devalue your own business by hiring somebody with no track record and paying them money? You're costing yourself money. When people are willing to pay you, you as the salesperson, when there are people out there willing to pay you for your services, then you can justifiably walk away from any opportunity that does not fit your standard. If people don't have the money that you offer, that you want, or you can just walk away. You don't have to get mad at them. You don't have to cuss them out. You don't even have to take too much time talking to them. You can let them know, look, I got people willing to pay me. So either you can change your offer or I'm going to move on. Simple as that. And you don't even have to wait for them to respond. Or if they really want you, they'll figure it out. But until you and those standards have both been established, that means you establishing that you're actually good and people know about it, and your standards for what it's going to take to acquire your services, until that's been established, here's what your marketplace value is. You know what your marketplace value is when you have not yet been established and your standards of what it's going to take in order to get you has been established. You know what your value is at that point? 0. You don't have any marketplace value. Doesn't mean you can't create some, but you don't have any. Maybe your value is less. Maybe your value is negative. You might have to pay just to get your opportunity. I heard Jim Rohn, professional, I guess we can call him a speaker, motivator. He's one of the forefathers of the personal development, the whole personal development industry. He said that when he was trying to become a professional speaker, he actually paid money to get on the stage for his first, I don't remember how many he said, 100 speaking opportunities. He paid his own money out of his pocket just to get on the stage to get himself seen. That's the way it was back then. Are you willing to do that? As a professional basketball player, listen, my marketplace value when I got out of college, as far as the pros was concerned, my marketplace value was 0. Nobody knew who I was. And how do I know my marketplace value was 0? It wasn't 0. It was negative. My marketplace value was a negative number. How do I know that? Because I paid my own money out of my pocket. I went into the red just to get an opportunity to show that I was good. Now, luckily for me, going into the red to get that opportunity led to me going into the black, because I was able to sign a contract after one of the first exposure camps that I went to. But there are other camps I went to where I went into the red in that camp, didn't get anything from it. Why? Because maybe at that time, hey, my marketplace value wasn't as high as I thought it was. But these are the investments that you have to make when you're in business. Sometimes you got to pay just to get yourself on, and pay maybe not directly to the opportunity, but you got to spend money, you got to spend time just to get your chance. All right? Your personal value, when I say your marketplace value is 0 or less than 0, that doesn't mean your personal value as a person. It doesn't mean you as an individual is worth 0. It means your marketplace value is 0. Your marketplace value, in case any of you is not familiar with that term, your marketplace value is whatever the market will bear. In other words, if there's someone in the market who's willing to pay you $10 and nobody willing to pay $1 more than that, then your marketplace value is $10. If someone's willing to pay you $1,000, then your marketplace value is $1,000. And you accept it, then your marketplace value is $1,000. Somebody's willing to pay you $50, that's your marketplace value. Your marketplace value is whatever the market will bear. That means what the market offers and that which you accept. Now, if someone in the market offers you $1,000 and you say, no, I'm worth $2,000, and then you actually get the $2,000, then you were right. Your marketplace value is $2,000. If someone offers you $1,000 and you say, no, I'm worth $2,000, and nobody comes along with that $2,000, all right, maybe you were wrong about your marketplace value. Does not mean you can't do anything to change that value, but at that moment, the data has told you the truth. Did an episode not too long ago. The data decides. Your feelings do not decide. Your emotions do not decide. Your ego does not decide. The data tells you what it is. The data tells you if your business is working or if your business is not. The data tells you what you're worth and what you're not worth, not you. Now, you can decide, spiritually, confidence-wise, what you're worth, and you can put the work in to get yourself to that level. And you can believe that you're a $2,000 person while the only offers you have are for $15. You can keep believing that, and you can do the work to actually get yourself to that level. But when we're talking about the hard data, what the marketplace is willing to offer you, you got to look at the numbers. And the data always tells you the truth. Your value is whatever the market will bear. And if the market says your value is 0, then that's just what it is. Now, what you need to do is go work on your fucking game so your value doesn't stay at 0. Point number 3. Today's topic is why and when to work for free in life. Third reason why, or the third time and place when you would want to work for free, is when you really want a certain position and it's been very difficult for you to get somebody's attention. You're just trying to get your foot in the door in a certain space, but it's really hard for you to get your foot in the door. You're not really getting anyone's attention. Nobody's really responding to your offers. All right, this is when it's a pretty good time to go work for free. It's a good time to figure out, how can I get in here with not asking for anything in exchange? I'm just going to give until they need me so much that they're willing to pay me for it. This is the question that you got to start asking yourself. Every other day, I get a DM or an email from a prospective professional basketball player who asked me a question that is in some form, some version of, how do I get my foot in the door for playing professional basketball? I get asked this question every single damn near every single day. How do I get my foot in the door for playing professional basketball? Here's the answer right here. You want a certain position. It's hard to get somebody's attention. Usually players come to me when they tried some things, but they haven't really gotten the response yet that they expected. All right, this is what you do. You must work for free so you can get a position or at least get paid attention to, because you got a whole lot of competition. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you a secret. Any of you out there who's looking for a job in any space, or you think you will be looking for a job in any space, there are very few employers out there who will decline your offer of completely free labor if you approach them respectfully and with a legitimate offer of what you can do. Let me say that one more time. There are very few employers out there who will say no if you approach them respectfully and you approach with a legitimate offer of working for free, and you are able to clearly share with them what exactly you bring to the table that will benefit them. That's an important part. That second part of that statement is very important. So let's talk about that second part. The second part was making sure that you are clearly letting them know what you bring to the table that benefits them. Not that benefits you, because listen, in case you didn't know, all right, nobody gives a fuck about what benefits you get. Nobody cares. Your boss does not care what you get from the job. Your boss cares what they get from the job. So if you're trying to sell somebody on doing something that's going to help you, don't tell them how it's going to help you, because they really don't care. They may pretend to care, but they really don't. All right, doesn't Drake say that in the song? He said, it might look like I care, but only on camera. All right, they don't really care, all right, how you feel. They don't really care what you get. They don't care about you making money. They don't care about you getting your foot in the door. They don't care about giving you a shot. They don't care about you being a hard worker. They don't care about you wanting this your whole life. They don't want to hear any of that bullshit. It's all bullshit to them. Might not be bullshit to you, but it's bullshit to them. You want to sell somebody on doing something for you. Never appeal to a person's mercy or gratitude. Always appeal to their self-interest. That is chapter 12 of the 48 Laws of Power. If you haven't read the book, then that's new to you, what I just said. If you've read the book, then you know exactly where it came from. You want someone to do something for you, tell them what they get, not what you get. And if you can't quite understand or communicate what they get, don't talk to them yet until you figure it out. Then talk to them. All right, this is strategic thinking, ladies and gentlemen. You better learn how to do it. Especially if you're trying to get opportunities in life, you got to learn how to speak other people's language, not your language, their language. We talked about this. We did a whole show on this. Do y'all understand that every point that I make here on this show, I've already emphasized in depth in another episode of this show. All right, this is like a curriculum. All right, you can't get this in college. You can't get this in school. There's no college professor in the world who can teach you what you get from this show. If you just listen to every episode that I've ever put out of this show, every master class that has come out on this show, you have all the education that you need, guaranteed. Now, if you apply it, then amazing things will occur. Now, if you just have it, that's one thing. But if you apply it, that's another thing. There are very few employers who will turn down an offer of free labor. All right. Somebody comes to me and says, Dre, can I work for you for free? And they are clear about what exactly they bring to the table that would actually help me. I'll say, hell yeah, you can work for me for free. Let me see what you can do. And if you show me that you're actually good, and you show me that you're dependable, reliable, and you're consistent in your work, all right, that's going to lead you to getting paid, guaranteed. But you got to approach me, first of all, respectfully. Second of all, with a legitimate offer. And third, I got to be clear what it is you're bringing to the table. When you get clear on all three of those things, listen, anybody you approach is going to say yes. Guaranteed. There's no reason why anyone listening to this right now should not be able to get their foot in the door in any space if you're willing to follow the points that I just gave you. If you go to someone with a specific offer and what the plan is, they'll say yes. I mean, who's going to say no to that? If you're a photographer, for example, you go to someone and say, look, I can take photos for you because I follow your Instagram and it looks like you need some, or it looks like you could use some really great professionally done photos. I think your photos are great, but listen, I can take photos that'll make you look even better than you already look. I'll take the photos for you. I'll be your personal photographer. I'll do it for you for 60 days. And after 60 days, if you think I'm worthy of a paid position, you can start paying me. If not, look, you can just let me know that either you can't afford me or I'm not worth it or you don't think I'm good enough, or you can tell me what I can do to get better. All I ask is that you let me keep the photos that I took, use them for my portfolio, and I'll go find somebody else who may be interested in my offer. Is that a deal? Yes or no? Nobody's going to tell you no. Nobody is turning that down. Are you willing to make the offer? You think about that as we recap today's topic, which is Why and when in life to work for free? Is there many people out here who have no track record, no resume, nobody knows who the hell you are, but you think you're too good to work for free, which makes no sense to me. I understand that food isn't free, gas for your car isn't free, your apartment's not free, your phone bill is not free, but there are bigger reasons why you should be willing to offer your services for free because you get paid on the back end. Let me tell you what they are. Number one, when you are trying to break into a crowded field. When I was playing ball, for example, I did exposure camps. I paid money to go to exposure camps because I knew on the back end, if my performance was the way I wanted it to be, if my work was good, I would get paid more on the back end than I had spent on the front end. And this is what professionals do. They make their money on the back end, not on the front end. Amateurs try to make money off every little tiny thing that they're doing. Professionals understand investing up front where you are actually going in the red because you're going to be way in the black out there in the future. But are you willing to do that? Do you have the discipline to play the long game? And you don't complain about it. You know that if it works, you're going to create future opportunities for yourself. Point number two, work for free when you're a nobody. A businessman once told me you cannot make demands until you are in demand. You can't be in demand. Nobody knows who you are. If you don't have a track record, you can't demand pay for your work. Why? Because who are you competing against? If I say, hey, you can work for me, but I'm not paying you. You got to work for me for free for 90 days so I can see what you can do. And you say, well, Dre, that's unacceptable. I say, why? Who else is offering you money? If nobody else is offering you money, then why are you even, what recourse do you have to someone offering you to work for free? You have none. Until you and your standards have both been established, your marketplace value is absolute zero. Maybe it's less. Maybe you got to pay money just to get your opportunity. Your personal value is not zero. I'm not saying you as a human is worth zero, but your marketplace value is whatever the data says, not what you say. Now go work on your game so you can change that. And point number three, when you really want a certain position, it's hard to get somebody's attention, maybe because it's so crowded, maybe because nobody knows who the hell you are. This is when you got to make an offer to work for free. There are very few employers out there who would decline an offer of free labor from an individual, that's you, who approaches them respectfully and with a legitimate, clear offer of exactly what they bring to the table. Go with someone with a specific offer and of what the plan is. Say, for example, I'll work for you for free for 60 days. I'll be your personal photographer. After that 60 days, if you really like my work, you can pay me this much money. If you don't, look, I'll shake your hands. Just let me keep the photos that I took from my portfolio and I'll go make this offer to somebody else. Nobody is going to say no to that offer if you approach and you come correct and make that offer. All right, so I just helped you get employed. Congratulations. Work on your game.
This is Dre all day. If you enjoy this mental game stuff that I talk about on video every day, then I put together a simple master class that will give you one key tip for developing what I call the bulletproof mindset. All you need to do is go to workonmygame.com/bulletproof. Is the link right here and it's down below in the video descriptions. Just click on it, take you right to the page. I'm going to give you that video. It's about 20 minutes long. This masterclass I put together. One key tip for developing a bulletproof mindset. And when you get that special masterclass free video, I'm also going to make you a special offer to get the full bulletproof mindset experience. So just go to that link that you see right here, and I'm going to show you how to develop that bulletproof mindset right now. So if you like this video that you just watched, I'm going to show you how to take it to the highest possible level. You ready for that? Let's do it.